Hello, I'm Randy Wallace. I'm a facilitator with the Thinking into Results program for the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Today we're going to talk about fear, or specifically the terror barrier. That is lesson 7 of the Thinking into Results program. So, when we set a goal, we have different levels of goals. So we have an A goal. That's something we already know how to do. We're going to buy a new car. We've done that. It's not a big goal. It's not a worthy goal. B is something we think we can do. We think we know how to do this. It's not a big enough goal yet. It's not going to scare us. We want the C goal. We want the goal that's going to scare us, that it just makes, it puts fear in your heart. That's our C goal. That's what we want to strive for. And it's the C goal that causes the terror barrier. Now, we're going to talk about the stick figure. So as you remember, we have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind, we have our body, and we produce our results. We have conscious thoughts. We impress those on our subconscious. Our subconscious is what creates our body to produce our results that we want. Gives us the feeling. It puts us on that vibration to achieve. So, we all are starting off with an X vibration. So we have an X-type thought. We have X-type belief. That gives us an X-type result. So, we stay in that circle. We're comfortable here. This is a $50,000 income, for an example. But if we want to change that to a bigger number, there's no such thing as bigger. It just is. If we want to double our income to 100,000, we've got to change this. The X's can't remain the same. Because here we're in bondage. We can't break out. So we have to start thinking differently. So if we move over here, we're in bondage. We're in bondage in the where we're staying. Okay. When we want to create a new thought, we're using our reasoning. We're now opening ourselves up to thought. We're thinking. We're getting creative. So, we are changing the X mentality, thought. We're going to change that to a Y thought process. So the Y comes down here into our conscious thinking. We start thinking different thoughts. Where does this come from? It comes from the universe. It provides. We start thinking about it. It's going to give us an idea. And we start thinking about this. But nothing's going to happen if we don't take that Y idea and impress it into our subconscious mind. That's where the magic starts happening, in the subconscious mind. That's what drives us to do things. So, When we start impressing this thought into our subconscious through repetition, we have to constantly be studying that why thought and impressing it. And remember, whatever we impress into our subconscious mind can't tell the difference from imagination or fantasy and reality. It believes whatever it tells us. If we tell us that I am a $100,000 a year income person, and you believe it, and you impress it, you will get a why body response. May not happen fast. It may happen fast. It just depends on how good you are at impressing it and following through with the ideas. But this is where we come into conflict. So let me show you this step. When we get into conflict, we have our why idea is now in our conscious mind. We've impressed the why idea into our subconscious mind. But that X is still there, what you're trying to drive out. So we end up with a little civil war within ourselves over the Y or the X. Who's going to win? I want to go forward and attain my Y results. I want to earn $100,000 a year. But that X is in the back of your head saying, you're only a $50,000 person. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? Come back here where it's safe. You got to drive through this, what we're going to call the terror barrier. This is the wall. Put that over there more so you can see it. Sorry. So over here, we have our barrier. That's our terror wall. So we have our why thought, we're impressing it into the X and Y in our subconscious, and we're having that internal conflict. That internal conflict is in our body as, it can impress as anxiety. So what will happen if you're staying in the X thought? You're going to have worry, which is going to create fear in our subconscious. And what we impress into our subconscious must be expressed by our body down here, from our mind to our body. And then our body is going to experience anxiety. Have you seen people that get so nervous, or you've probably been there at some point, when you're trying to write your name you're buying a house and you're trying to sign your name and you're shaking? That's because you're worried. Can I afford this house? Fear's kicking in. I can't afford this house. And it's producing anxiety in the body by causing the tremors, the shakes, the fear. So, when you stay with this and you know what's happening, That's the key to this. You have to understand what's happening, what you're thinking, what's going on in your body. And then you can push through the wall. We never conquer it. There's always going to be a wall. Every time we set the next big goal, it's what it is. So, out of our body, we're going to get our results. But if we forget about this and push through it, we will get our $100,000 income that we're wanting over there. Now, be honest about this. You're not going to do it in 1 month or 1 week. You might, depends on what kind of job you're in. But who knows? I don't know. But you will break through that barrier. And that barrier is nothing but is something in our mind. It's nothing physical. Our mind makes it physical almost. We perceive it as physical. But you will break through it, and you'll be over on this side making your 100,000, and then you're going to now everything is in a why thought process. You have a why thought, you have why feelings, you have why in the body, the vibration, and creates the results of the why goal. So, at that point, you got to start over. So, this is a continuing thing. We're going to come right back up here. Only now this is going to be, we're now in bondage in the why. We went from $100,000 or $50,000 income. We increased or doubled our income. We're now at $100,000 income the next year. And now we're thinking, I can do better than this. I want $250,000. I want a $250,000 income this year. What do? You impress that new thought. You got to start thinking about it, and you jump back over to reason, and you start thinking, how can I do this? And you start impressing it into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is going to create that feeling, that vibration in your body. And somewhere along the way, you will be earning that $250,000 a year. It's what you want. It's what you impress from a thought into a belief in your subconscious, which creates the vibration, which is what you go and create your want with. Clear as mud? I hope so. I hope you enjoy this. I'm Randy Wallace. I am a facilitator for Thinking into Results. And if you're interested in this, if you find this interesting and want to learn more about it, contact me and we'll discuss it. Maybe you keep thinking about doing something. And are you thinking one day, someday, or today? Thanks. Goodbye.